There are four ways that we commonly naturally intuit, receive psychic energy information, and communicate with the other side. It's important to kind of be aware of these different ways that we can intuit because it helps us to recognize when we are. It helps us to tune in better and to use that natural skill that we have to receive insights, communicate with the other side when we want to. One of the ways that we receive energy information and communicate with the other side is through our emotions. When we are receiving through more of our psychic channel, we receive emotionally through a sense of our heart, a feeling. Some examples would be the feeling that something is going to work out for you, or the feeling that something you're going to reach a dead end. And of course, this is before it happens. It can also come through as a feeling that someone doesn't have your best interest at heart. That's different from the emotions of anger, sadness, joy, elation. When we receive through our emotions, when it comes to connecting with the other side, we often can feel a feeling of loved, of being loved, a feeling of comfort when maybe we're going through something difficult. And those feelings kind of go right to our heart. And a lot of times we will know that it is coming from the other side is because it may not make sense to our situation. If you're feeling this sudden feeling of just feeling loved and feeling safe, even though the situation around you isn't kind of, making that's not the feeling you have. A lot of times that's coming from the other side, a loved one. Another way that we naturally intuit is through our through our thoughts, our mental intuition. And intuitive, psychic, energy information thoughts tend to be neutral. They tend to be matter of fact, and they tend to be repetitive. It's usually a phrase, a word. It can be a big clump of information too. But what kind of gives it more of a sense of, it's not coming from us is that energy information is not stirring up emotion for us. It's not connecting to our ego. It's just a statement. It's just an awareness of thought energy. When we're communicating with the other side through our mental intuition, we are, it's kind of like we're feeling we're carrying on a conversation with someone on the other side. A lot of times it'll come through with clairaudience, which is the ability to hear, inner hearing, psychic inner hearing. And we may be driving to work or just doing something, and we'll find ourselves carrying on a conversation with a loved one on the other side. And a lot of times, people will tell me that they imagine that, or they catch themselves doing that. They wonder why they're doing that. Trust it. You probably are communicating with someone on the other side. The third way that we intuit naturally is through our physical body. A lot of times this will come in, if it's psychic energy information, through sensations. Our stomach, a lot of times the gut is where we experience that. And that is because the third chakra, which is in the gut area, is the primary source for kind of gut intuition, which differs from other ways of it coming in. But if you feel butterflies in your stomach or tension in your gut, your stomach, that could be you're picking up energy information without realizing it. It also can come in as shivers, the feeling of cold air suddenly coming in, or feelings of energy moving up and down your spine, your hair standing, the hair on your arms kind of standing up and feeling kind of a shiver in that way. A lot of times we don't think we're being intuitive or we're not psychic when it comes in through the physical modality because we don't understand what it's about. If you are receiving energy information through physical channels, keep in mind that this is legitimate energy coming in. It's a modality. And try to imagine putting that into words. If that feeling was saying to me, something to me, what would it be saying? When we connect with the other side through our physical self, physical body, what that feels like a lot of times is a heart opening. Again, feelings of love, only it can be more visceral in the body. We can sometimes feel a hand on our shoulder or, just the presence of someone. We can feel them by our side, or sometimes when we are connecting with those on the other side, it may seem that they're right there with us, and they are. That's true. There definitely are. Trust it. The fourth way that we naturally pick up energy information is through our energy field, which I call spiritual intuition. And when we are picking up energy through the energy field, it's a little less tangible than the other types. The other types are centered in more of the physical self. When we pick up through our spiritual energy channels, it can feel a little distant sometimes, a little evasive. One of the skills that people that pick up energy information through the energy field will experience is more clairvoyance. And clairvoyance is the ability to see. People that are spiritual intuitives will sometimes see streaks of light in the air. They may see orbs, which are kind of balls of energy, light energy. They can sometimes seem translucent and they might come and go. They may also see images. They may see a flash of someone or something, or maybe not completely visual, but in their mind's eye see um, a loved one. I mean, that's kind of common with spiritual intuitives, is a natural connection to the other side. When we're picking up psychic energy information, intuitive information, a lot of times that's going to come in as symbols too. We might see an image of the sea or the ocean and not know what that's about. We might see a certain color or be attracted to certain colors. A lot of times that's symbolic. That's symbology that we are trying to translate what our mind is, what energy we're picking up. The ocean would symbolically have to do with that, the great expanse of spirit, of divine energy. If it's tumultuous water, it could have to do with emotional energy too, and maybe the ups and downs or confronting obstacles. There's so many different ways to interpret symbology, so we have to kind of combine it with the other types too to better understand it. But if you're seeing flashes of energy, light, dreaming a lot, spiritual intuitives tend to dream a lot too, or communicating, feeling that you are in the presence of a loved one. It's a little different than the physical presence. This would be more an awareness in your kind of energy field, some tingles in that way, but also this kind of like really strong sense of being able to communicate with them, receive messages from them in a way that the other types don't always naturally do that. Now, we're all a combination of these types. We may have one strength, two strengths, we may be equal in all of them, but knowing your type will help you to better tune into your own natural intuition and therefore develop it. Thanks.